folks, and welcome back to the plot. I have just finished work. I'm in like mad rush mode. It's about 3:30. Well, I finished work at 3:30 anyway. Bombed down here. Oh, let me show you behind me. Look at this. Ta-da! In the last episode, you saw me starting to dig over the tunnel. And look, I've got the membrane down. Let me flip it around properly. It's looking dirty because I had really muddy gloves and I've been walking all over it and stuff, but really, really pleased with this. It doesn't quite get right in and under. I need to give it a little bit more of a shifty just to stop those weeds coming in under there, but this is going to be my kind of automated watering area, either quad grows or auto pots or something like that. That's the kind of plan. Zero or very, very close to zero maintenance. I've put out some slabs here. I'm thinking this might be where I make like a little kind of workbench or potting bench type area. Maybe not. I'm not 100% on that, but that's the plan anyway. And then plan B, dig all this over and get the raised bed in. But what are we looking for? What's the plan? The plan is to plan. Because it's so late after work and I can't really get stuck into anything on the allotment. I've just bombed down and the first thing I need is a tape measure because I want to properly plan out all of the beds. Believe it or not, I've never done it properly to the inch, to the millimetre. And so, I'm blinded. First thing, I need to hope I can find a tape measure somewhere. I'm sure I've got one down here, or like maybe 3 or 4. I'm pretty sure somewhere on these shelves there's got to be one. Pepper's still doing okay, yeah. They've not died in the frosts or anything. There's nothing. There's bloody nothing in the shed. There's nothing in the greenhouse. I don't think there's anything in this one. I've literally just gone through this one. Oh, I nearly panicked then. I thought something had been digging in here, but that's just where I had an old plastic bottle. Seedlings are looking good. I'm going to take these home today. That's another reason that I bought the car. It's getting far too cold for these. Definitely time for them to come home and live on the windowsill. Anything in there? No. There's another thing I've come to pick up as well, and that is all of this. My seed boxes. You probably shouldn't really leave these in the greenhouse, but I've done it for years and most of my seeds still germinate okay, so I would have bloody put money on me having a tape measure down it. What the hell is that? Oh, it's one of the compost bags. It's just gone all down my trouser neck. For God's sake. I know where it was. It was in a bag of tools that I took home. Right, back in the car. Let's go. Get this bloody tape measure. Oh, for God's sake. Just got to the gate. Got my tomatoes, got my seeds. Forgot my bloody keys. Left my keys in the polytunnel. 5 tape measures I own. I have a special place for each one. Checked all the toolboxes, every kitchen drawer, every bloody conservatory drawer. Not a bloody tape measure to be found. I'm gonna have to put a blooming embargo on anyone else ever using my bloody tape measures ever again. Christ. Unbelievable. It's now about 4:10 and the thing that I was worried about happening is happening. We're losing the sun. Now, it's just me as well, and I've got to try and measure a load of stuff by just myself, so I need to find something heavy that I can like weigh down on the corner of the beds, because the main thing I want to measure is the exact bed length so that I can calculate how much raised bed timber I need to buy, because I don't want to be out by just a little bit and get all my calculations wrong. It's easiest if you can do things in nice simple measurements. So 3.6 meter lengths and 1.2 meter lengths are generally quite often available. 1.2 meters is a perfect width. You can access either side of your path. And then 3.9 is going to be hopefully perfect for a lot of the long bits. But let's see, because I've only roughly measured via Google Maps the satellite imagery. So we'll see what it actually looks like with a tape measure. Just the other day, someone in the comments asked how Jess was, my Jess, as in my fiancée Jess, because I hadn't seen her in a video for a long time. And funnily enough, I was practically begging her to come and help me with this so that I wouldn't have to do this and then have the tape measure flipping off. But she said no. Thing about Jess, if there's any chance of rain, she's not leaving the house. We actually did loads in the back garden yesterday, but yeah, not today. So this is 3.5 exactly, which is a very awkward size. A lot of this is kind of awkward. I didn't make the beds with a set plan in mind. I just kind of made them to fit the area that I had. Slightly regret it in hindsight. Now, I don't have to be precise. What I mean by getting the measurements right is just there's a difference between 10 centimeters off on the ground and 10 centimeters off from satellite imagery. So I'm just some quick squares and then jot down the measurements. Okay, yeah, this is, hello. Yeah, this is dramatically different from the measurements I had online. So I'm gonna get all this squared up properly. This is why I kind of wish I planned it out right from the start with those measurements in mind, because here I've got a 1.8, which doesn't really go into other planks too easily. You got 1.2, 2.4, 3.6, common timber lengths. 1.8, you're going to be left with some weird stuff. So it requires a lot more calculation, but you've got to work with what you got, haven't you? Right, folks. It's done. I've just about got every measurement, but the fun is not over. It is really getting quite dark and cold. So I'm gonna go home, put all of this into VegPlotter, because once it's there, I know it's kind of there forever. And that will allow me to then calculate all the timber. I'm gonna ask for your advice on some of the timber and show you what I'm looking at. And then I've been sent some very exciting things that I wanna show you. And I'm gonna have a little actual plan of what I'm growing and where with the help of VegPlotter once again. Right, we are back at home. Okay, that's not right, is it? Is that better? Oh, I need to get a proper cloth. You might see the Christmas tree. We'll talk about that. Right, okay, you can see me again. Yeah, this is filmed in the middle of November. That is an actual Christmas tree. Jess just really likes to put the Christmas decorations up very, very early. I think this is definitely a new record this year. So, what am I doing? Some things to show you. First thing, so the thing that's really got me excited and got me in planning mode is seeds. Now the first ones are down here. My chili chump seed kit has arrived. If you're not aware of this, this is a great little selection of 6 chili peppers that Chili Chump puts together every year. And I pretty much always grow them. I'll put a link in the description. Of course, there's going to be a lot of links in the description today. If you're interested in sort of doing a grow along with me and lots of other people, then you can get your hands on these. There's absolutely stacks of other seeds. I've got new chili seeds. The main difference I've got this year, the main kind of slightly novel thing, I'm going to be doing some more sweet peppers. I think because I've got the tunnel now, it's going to allow me that little bit of extra versatility. And let me show you all the other stuff I've got. I'm so excited about this. I've got my seed boxes that I've got to go through. But in addition to going through my own seed boxes, I had a bit of a care package from Grown Local. And he sent me one of these root trainer kits. You might have seen these on Tony's channel. I'm so excited to start using these. And he sent me a few seeds. And the first one is so sweet. This is from his personal collection, the Chelsea collection sweet peas, which were Steve Greenside Up, his favourite sweet pea flowers. So I'm really hoping I can get these going in the new root trainers, which look amazing. That root trainer looks really good. I should probably show you, shouldn't I? Let me show you. The main issue with root trainers is that historically the ones that you buy, not only are they very expensive, but they're very flimsy. I think they're expensive because they're quite an awkward thing to manufacture. Now these from Garland are pretty much the same thing, but super easy to remove. They're not hinged, which I think makes it a bit easier. And look, they're actually hard plastic. You can wang them around, you can chuck them around, you can drop them on the floor. They're not going to instantly break. I've got some root trainers and they have been really good, but they are so flimsy compared to these. So really excited. Once again, link in the description. These are on Grown Local, only about 12 quid. They're currently on back order, but you can kind of put your email in and you'll get a notification. They sell elsewhere for like 15, 16 quid. And the flimsy ones that you can get are often just as expensive. You know, if you go to a garden centre, you'll find those flimsy ones, and sometimes they're like £20. It's crazy. And on top of that, yeah, just seeds. So he sent me another microgreen kit. I'll link my microgreen video if you haven't seen that again. Excited to get those going again this year, especially now it's starting to get dark and horrible and quite challenging growing. Loads of other seeds, lots of tomato seeds, and Grown Local started doing chili seeds as well. So I'm going to be trying a few of those this year. There's too much to go through now, but like I say, it's given me the bug. I'm going to go through my own seed packets, have a big sort out, get rid of loads of stuff, you know, the expired stuff, or at least put it in a pile where I can just chuck it all over like one little tray and see what comes up. And I'm kind of going to go through and plan a little bit of varieties in anticipation of any seed orders I need to make, because I have no idea what is going on in my seeds. I haven't looked in there in months. So I'm going to do that. And I'm going to be working on the VegPlotter plans. So I'm going to pull VegPlotter up now, and hopefully I can do a screen recording and show you what I'm looking at. So I'm in, this is the website, I'm all logged in, and I've got a few different versions, which is quite good. You can just kind of nice and easily copy and paste. And what I'm going to do is just super quick go over this one, which I've done based on kind of satellite imagery. I'm going to go through here and input all of the measurements I just took. One thing I do really love about VegPlotter is they listen to feedback. So I had a few issues with putting things down in the program in kind of the wrong order. So it's got a structure and a bed system, and then a veg system. So it's 3 kind of layers. One thing I was trying to do is get my kind of wood chip paths set up, and I was having a bit of an issue with some of the layers and what would sit over what. And so he took my feedback and he actually changed the program and added in this thing where you can manually set the thing. So if I wanted the wood chip to be over the bed, then I can change it and now it sits over. And if I want the wood chip to be under, I can do that and then click update and then it goes under. Really, really cool. So I'm going to put in these figures and then have a little look at what's going on with the timber. So I've input all the figures, pretty quick, pretty simple. I haven't done the beds on the first half over here just yet. And I've just started putting in the beds. And the good news is this one is perfect. We've got a nice 2.4 by 1.2. So there I can just press D to duplicate and then pop them all in. And that is pretty much perfect. I wish they were all going to be all that simple. This is all a bit funny down here. This is a bit where you saw me measuring. I had the camera down here by this bench. And the idea here is this is hopefully where I'm going to make a little sweet pea bed, possibly with the arch and a little seating area with the patio. And this is the rhubarb bed. So it's a really funny little size, but I can shift everything down, kind of nibble away at the path quite a lot. There's loads of room on here. That's why this sits a little bit high, and this is all the back where the plum trees and all that kind of stuff is. But that is just perfect. Now, the issue here is that this is all a bit weird. So if I copy this, which is pretty much like the perfect bed, just drag it over, you can see how far off it is. There's just no real configuration to make those like a good use of space. I want to use as much of this soil as possible, so I'm gonna have a little play around with these and get it just right. And the thing that I'm thinking, this will go 3 perfectly, which is just great, with some nice paths in the middle. They will have to be a bit longer though. What I love is you can just drag this out now and I can see how long is that. That's 3.5. So I could probably nibble away a little bit either end and get a 3.6 length in there, which is perfect. Just bang on there. Just so little work compared to the rest. This side is actually a little bit weird though. When I was measuring, it's not quite square. So if I did 3.6 on here, I'd be really brushing up against the greenhouse. So this is just great. I love how it can all sort of come to life on the screen like this. And yeah, now I've got to do a little bit of calculation, figure out exactly which lengths of timber to buy. And what I'm thinking is the first plot, which is this one with the greenhouses, the soil there is actually really good. Every time I've dug in it, it's looked really nice, no issues. It's the second plot where I actually need to build the soil up and get some tall raised beds and actually grow things in the raised bed. The main reason that I want beds on the first plot is just that kind of keeping things tidy type of thing, you know, just being able to just whack around with the strimmer, just have that nice separation. And I think as well, it's really nice when you can just clear a bed. I'm quite often pressed for time, as you might have noticed, and being able to just do one bed at a time, it's much, much easier, I think, when you've got raised beds. I've noticed it just in the back garden, where we've got the raised beds in there now. So I think it's going to work really well for me. What I was going to say is, if you've got recommendation for timber, I'm all ears. I found one site that is selling really, really cheap, 100 by 25 mil. So 25 mil is quite thick, but it's very similar to pallet wood, but it's super cheap. I can build this whole lot of beds for around 60 quid. So I think I'm going to go for that on this. It's not much height, so I can't fill it up with loads of material, but I can still pile on manure or mulch and it will hold it in and make life easier when it comes to weeding. But then this lot, I think I'm going to go with scaffolding boards, which I can find for around 15 to 20 pounds a plank, so like 3.9 meters. If I line those, I will be able to build up in them and actually have a much better growing medium. One thing I've noticed as well with all the rain, this is potentially liable to flood. That's another reason I want to build that soil up. I'm just really, really excited. And obviously the main kind of feature of VegPlotter, I've just used this for getting the structure out, but it's all about the planting. And you can see here, it's as simple as dragging on. If you want to see sprouts, how many can I fit in that row? It just automatically does it. You can sort of customize it as well. So if you want to give your plants a little bit more room, you could just type in, I want to give them 90 centimeters. And then that'll show you, oh, you can put 4 plants in there. You know, I love this. It's so, so good. And this is just the simple stuff. There's loads more complicated stuff. If you go for the paid version, there is a discount code in the description. The free version is really good, so I do recommend you give it a go. Just have a little play around, put your plot in. I think it's really good to do this kind of stuff over winter. And I'm going to go away now, sort through all my seeds. I'm not going to do that on camera because I think this has been long enough already. And actually plug the veg in here, and hopefully I'll be able to show you that in a little while. The paid versions have all sorts of things like month by month planning and kind of crop rotation plans and warnings and companion planting, all that kind of stuff. So do give it a go. Like I say, link in the description. I'm going to say thank you ever so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this little peek into my process, a little bit of planning. It's so good to see this. I absolutely love it. Thank you ever so much. An extra special thank you to all of my patrons who are going to allow me to buy all of this timber. And Tony, Bill, Pam, Louise, Mel, Michael, Denise, Socks in the Garden, and Andrew, my chili pepper tier patrons. Thank you. Extra thank you to you.